We're up.
Oh my god, I want to
See how you're gonna look at the top.
Okay,
The top's not
right
the
there?
thing. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I think we're live. We just share it and make sure it's on it.
Let's see. Let's go check it
Let's-
out. Happy Mother's Day,
We
everyone.
might have to
We are
like
live.
push it. Do you see how it's like?
Yeah, push it down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Can I do that?
Are we
No,
live?
Oh,
yeah.
what happened?
No, like angle.
No, like angle it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
But I wish I could make this bigger. Didn't I make it bigger last time? Was there a way to make it? Oh,
We're live, guys.
I know. I'm just trying to
You're
figure
trying to
this
figure
out.
You keep looking at the top. I gotta stop doing that.
I was trying to figure out how to make that, but I guess if it's up there, it's fine.
Alright.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Who's in? Who's in?
Happy Mother's Day.
Who's on? Hi, Olga. Olga's on.
How are
Thank
you
you for
seeing
tuning
it,
in.
To the left.
Okay.
And myself with
How come I can't see it?
Alison Lee on this
Oh, wait, I should share it, right?
Damn, the
beautiful.
Yep, they're live.
How do I share? Should I go to your page?
I'm gonna tag you in it right.
We'll
right
tag
now.
you in it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna read the mission statement while we're doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Greater Waltham Recovery Solutions mission is to connect those with substance use disorder to recovery treatment services. Additionally, we offer scholarships to safe and effective sober living, educate the public through community outreach, and help veterans access premier quality treatment. Our organization embraces cultural diversity and is inclusive of every race, religion, sexual orientation, veteran status, socioeconomic background, disability, and age group.
I think I just did it. So let's see. Yeah. And you can just share it. There we go.
Okay.
There it is. Now you can just click hit share.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, so I don't want to hear my voice. Okay. Olga, did you read these comments already?
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Olga. Happy Mother's Day. I know we said hi, but hi again. Thank you for always tuning in. Let's see. Tommy Young Jr. said hi, everyone. Hi, Tommy. Christopher Engelhart, size don't matter.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I have no idea.
That sounds like a him problem.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
don't know.
commenting, are you commenting on my belly?
I know,
My
what are you
pregnant belly?
saying?
Like, what's going on?
No, yeah, you can't even see it. Look at I'm bigger than you on this screen. Pasquale Piantadosi said, hi, Mikey. You guys have a great power of example, and Allison, and happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Thank you.
Hello there. Like, what are you doing? We're not supposed to listen to our own voices on this. I hate it.
I don't want to hear my.
I hate it. Anytime we click on it, it's like, ugh. Mandy. Hi, Mandy. I love you.
Mandy, I love you. Thank you for asking me to share.
She said, I love you, Allison, so much. You are a huge part of my journey in recovery. Thank you for all you did for me while in treatment and being my first sponsor. You were by my side through all my hard times. I love you and so blessed to have you in my life.
I love you, Mandy.
She's like one of my.
Listen, I watched that girl.
You're like tearing up. Like,
I love it.
I'm normally the one who's crying.
Well, it's my first time pregnant.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, like I said in my like I look at this more than just like it was more than just like a job for me when she came into Banyan, and like I want that girl literally went through hell. Like I remember like everything that she went through when she was coming in there, the pressure. She didn't even know like if she wanted to be there, and she just got through it. And like for her to like message me and like ask me to speak for like something that she's a part of, like it was just like awesome.
It's like full circle.
Yeah, shout out to Mandy. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Mandy, like see, like, oh my god, I love it. Okay, so where are we? Teresa Legero said, "Happy Sundays, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Look at this great child you have. So happy
Mama
Mother's
Legs.
Day.
Happy
Mama Legs. Day. What's up, Mom? Happy Mother's Day.
Amy McBride said, "Hi, Allison. We're watching at the girls' house.
Woo! Love you, ladies. Happy Mother's Day, Kathy."
Tony Bacca said, "Love the Tom Glavine throwback, Mikey."
The Atlanta Braves hat. Thanks, Tony.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I was so confused. I was looking at your shirt. DeCarlo Nico said, "Happy Mother's Day, angels." Thank you,
Nikki.
Thank Christopher Englehart was, I guess, talking to John Smaltz. Oh, and he said, can I make it bigger? Oh, never mind. We're no fresh. We don't talk like that on here. Chris Silva said, happy
I
Mother's.
missed that one. That would have been a good one.
That would have been. I didn't know what he was talking about. You should have read that. Chris Silva said, happy Mother's Day to all. And once again, a big shout out to Little Transitional Living, Mandy and Tammy. Yep. Big shout out to you guys. You know, you guys have had a hard week this week, and you know, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and just I hope you realize how much you've done for the community. And Pablo included. Like you guys were a beacon of light in his life. So thinking of you and love you guys.
Well said. Well said. Rest in peace, Pablo.
Yeah, I miss.
He was awesome at boxing.
He was awesome at boxing. He anytime we go to the shelter, it's like he was just a good energy, and mental health is a real thing, and that's why we try to continue doing what we do. To go over again what we do free recovery coaching,
boom,
placement into treatment, all levels of care, PHP, IOP, MAT, detox, any insurance, reach out to us, and our placement coordinator over here will find you a place. Right? Placement coordinator will find you a place. What else? Family
consulting, interventions,
yep.
Treatment planning,
yep.
Recovery coaching, coming up with a wellness plan.
Yep.
So all those things, anything recovery related, reach out to our page, reach out to our personal pages, whatever you need. We'll call you back. We'll give you our cell phone numbers, our personal numbers, and we'll help you out as best we can.
And to go over our fabulous team that's always behind us, founder Julie Bunch. Co-founder Debbie Moore. Miss Mandy McGowan, Angel on Earth. Kim G, our social media superstar extraordinaire, the one who posts everything, the memes, the articles, everything. She does a lot. She helps me and helps all of us with organization, because we are organized chaos, as my sponsor used to like to call me, and she's very organized. Linda Powell, our nurse on the team, who also helps out a lot. Richie Evans.
Yep. Our recovery coach supervisor.
Yep, amongst other things.
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
Myself.
And myself.
Boom.
I think that's it.
All right, so what are we doing? Dollars for Angels.
Dollars for Angels. So, Alison has almost 9 years of recovery.
8.5.
Well, 8.5. So we are going to do the magic number 8. 8 is great. Mm-hmm. So for some fate, we want you to donate 8. How'd you like that one?
It was okay. It was pretty good.
I don't know. I give it like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, you guys have Venmo?
Yeah, we have Venmo.
All right, I'll make sure I Venmo.
No, that's what we have. So at Recovery Solutions on Venmo, 0143 is the code. If you want to donate $8 tonight, our Dollars for Angels. Angels are people that are out there struggling, still using. Once they get clean, once they want to get clean, once they're willing to get clean and sober, we want to be able to fund their sober living. We want to be able to scholarship them for safe, reputable, sober living. So donate if you can.
And we never want to have to say no.
That's right. We always want to have some money in the pot when people reach out to us, so we can provide that service.
Yeah. Joe Papa said, love all you guys.
Joe Papa from the other room. Watching, tuning in.
Okay, so now we're gonna dive in.
Let's dive it in.
So we want to hear a little bit about what it was like prior to recovery. And then kind of the path that led you there. Because we are all pathways. Yeah, I agree with it.
That's right.
Yeah. So first, I just want to say I'm still nervous. I don't care if I'm sitting in the room with you guys. I still, no matter how many times I share anywhere, I always get nervous. So my clean date is September 1st, 2012. So that means September I will have 9 years, coming up on 9 years. And prior to recovery, I still remember, I'm going to bring it back to the first day entering into a program. I got clean through a halfway house. I went to Project Hope in Lynn. Great house. Shout out to Project Hope. Saved my life. It's a program for women with children or also pregnant women. That place is really the place that got me started on my journey. However, before treatment, I was very naive when I got to the program. I remember not knowing anything about sponsorship, nothing like that. And that's because, growing up, I came from a generally nice neighborhood, right? I went to Brookline schools.
Newton's
I went to Brookline High. growing up, like elementary school and stuff, like I come from a family of like no one in my family struggled with the disease of addiction. No one was like getting high around me. Nobody was getting drunk around me. Like all the behaviors that I had like as a child and then like going into like, my like when I started using and drinking and all that stuff, like was very apparent because I just stood out. And even like around the people that like I went to school with and like the neighborhood that I was coming from, it's still like, don't get me wrong, people got high and people got messed up.
Well,
but
that's
like,
what people think, that in Brookline and Newton, that
no
there's
drugs.
no drugs, there's no addiction, and it runs rampant.
Right. So
there's more money.
and then
More
and money for
supply.
oxys. Everyone's father and mother's a doctor. Just read their medicine cabinets.
Right. So then I was also like, around like when I was around like West Roxbury and Brighton and all those surrounding areas too. Like people, like I said, people were getting high, but like I always took it to a different level. Like I was always like,
first one in, last one to
yeah,
leave.
like I couldn't hold my hold my liquor to like like I would just get crazy. I would do crazy things. People just wanted me around for their entertainment, So by the time like it was time for like like I said, I was in Brookline High School and then college came and then I was sent off, or I was all for going to Arizona. I tried to go to school in Arizona.
Party school.
Yep, University of Arizona. And I went there because my dad graduated there, and I thought I would be like very successful. And I would just leave everything behind me because I I think like all addicts growing up, you feel like you don't belong. You don't really have like, people that you found like were your real friends and all that. And that's just like what I ran with. And I went far away, 2,500 miles away, and I ended up just with a raging oxy habit, getting into a relationship with a drug dealer, someone who introduced me to everything.
Your story sounds a lot like mine.
Name it, I did it in Arizona. And I wasn't an IV user at that point. But then like eventually like I lost everything when I was in there. Like I was out there for 3 years. I only had one semester completed. Like I ended up just relocating out there to get high pretty much. And I ended up with nothing. Sold all my furniture, had nothing, and then had nothing to show for it, like I said. And I came back to Boston thinking like, okay, I hadn't used opiates in Boston, like before when I was like in West Roxbury and like Brookline and stuff, like when I was using, it wasn't like opiates, it was just drinking coke and pills here and there, but it was like I said, out of control.
Right.
So then when I got back from Arizona, I was like, I haven't done opiates, so I think I could do that geographical cure type of thing. So I ended up coming back to Boston, and it wasn't long before I became an IV.
Because you took you with you.
Right. And like you're going from somewhere in Arizona, like you live in Tucson, Arizona, where they like have 80s for $20.
Wow.
Like, that, yeah.
I know,
like,
I know.
Just like stuff like that. And then you come home and then all of a sudden they're like
$80.
So you know what I mean? Like it's bound to happen. And that's exactly what happened. And I was only an IV user for like a little over a year. But even before I was an IV user, it was pretty ugly. Like I was constantly like in the system. Like I was getting arrested left and right. My poor mother. Yep. Like I had OUIs. I had every charge I had. I think it was like like I was on lorazepam. I think like there was not one time I got arrested that like I wasn't on a benzo. Like I just like always. And
you think you're sneaky, like doing things when you're on benzos.
Oh my God.
And you're literally like this.
Yeah.
Like to do it's horrible.
Yeah, the OUI I got into, I had was, I remember it was on Christmas Day. I woke up in a jail cell in Marblehead on Christmas Day.
That's probably a nice jail cell though.
Yeah. And like, so then I was on probation. I had charges like possession, distribution, like all this stuff. And like my probation was out of Brighton. And I don't know, I was just all over the map. I had like cases out of East Boston. I just had everything. I was literally everywhere. Like I was like a nomad. Like after
sounds like it. You were in Brooklyn, Brighton,
then
West all the way to Marblehead.
Yep. So I was everywhere. Like when I came back, like my mother lived in there, and then she moved to Winthrop, and then that's why I had East Boston, and then like my father lived still like in Chestnut Hill, so he lived over there. But like my stuff was in Brighton. I was still hanging out with my friends in West Roxbury. Like so I was like literally everywhere. So I just had it all over, and then what it really was, and I have to talk about this is because my mother like you know, I put my mother through hell.
Yeah.
And one thing that I did to her was I dragged her life through the mud. I emptied her bank account. I got her evicted from her home. I ruined all her cars. um I the emotional abuse I did, I threatened her one time with a weapon, like just because I was sick and I was trying to rob my poor mother. um there was just so many things that I had done to her where this disease had took me and to my family. Like I remember emptying this cash box that had all of my dead uncle's jewelry in it and taking it and not feeling any remorse. Nothing.
Yep.
And then like being in my room, or not even my room, I was like staying in a room at my father's house in like this little like it's like a size of a closet. And my brother would come in and open the door and be like, what are you doing? Like, get your life together. And I remember like he used to, rightfully so, he would get angry with me or upset because I'm like sitting there and he'd find like aluminum foil everywhere with ash all over it, and just like I literally like would be too messed up to get up and use the bathroom, that I was like peeing in a Solo cup.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like my brother would be like, what is this? Like, you're disgusting.
And you don't care. You have no shame.
And no shame. Like it was just bad. And you wouldn't think, like, coming from where I come from, that like
it got that bad.
It got that bad, and it did. And like I was on probation, like I said. My mother was giving me her urine to tuck for probation. Like I remember like banging on the door one time at my father's house. Like, this is where it took it. Like, my parents had been separated for 13 years, and then I got my mother evicted, and my mom had nowhere to go. So my father had to take my mother in her house, and so she lived with him.
Yeah.
Because she had nothing, and I'm so grateful for that. But she was living with him, and I remember banging on that door and being like, I have to show up to do a drug test for probation in like a half hour, and if I don't give them the clean urine, like, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
And like it would come just like on the fly. She would have no heads up or anything. So she would be like in the bathroom trying to pee for me. And like I would be like, hurry up. If I go to jail, it's gonna be your fault. And I'd be banging on the door, and she'd be crying on the other side.
Damn.
Because like she couldn't go for me.
Yeah.
And like that's like where this disease took me. Like I was just so like, I just like didn't care. And like everyone knew, like when I got to treatment, how much I love my mother. So like I had a lot of guilt when I got clean, because the things I put my family through were like ridiculous.
Hold on one second. Special happy Mother's Day to Alison.
Yes, I was gonna say. Thank you. I don't, my toesies. And this is kind of.
Well, no, this is just.
I don't want to say a perfect like.
Yeah, no.
But it's important.
It's important.
Because the person I just met you, right?
Yeah.
And the person I could never even imagine you doing those things. So that's important.
And a lot of people say that to me. A lot of people like, I can't even imagine you like doing half the things that.
And that's where our disease brings us. It literally transforms us into someone like our worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like the worst scum of the earth, because we don't care what.
Well, that just perpetuates the stigma too. People saying like, oh, I can't picture you doing those things.
Right.
Like, what is a person who?
Right. I know. So
well, if you saw me the day I walked into treatment, you wouldn't be saying that. Right, but I remember, oh my God, my friend Nicole Pistone. Shout out to Nicole Pistone.
Another mom.
When I got to treatment, she was there. She was in the halfway house with me. And she used to make fun of me because she said I looked like the girl from The Ring.
Oh my God.
I literally was like as pale as that whiteboard, and like my hair was like this, and like I didn't shower, and like I looked like I just like I crawled out of the sewer. So it was just So like that's you. I definitely didn't look like.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I was adding to the stigma.
No, not you. I'm saying that the fact that people say that, the fact that people are like, oh, you don't look like you would do all that. Like, so what does a person look like that would go to those lengths to
Yeah.
get what they need. Your
Right.
body, you're in survival mode. Your
Yep.
mind's in survival mode. Your body's in survival mode. Like, you're gonna get what you need by any means necessary.
Right.
You're gonna get your
Right.
needs met. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just got that it's getting blurry. Olga said, remember to turn the 8 sideways to make an infinity symbol. So remember, our magic number tonight was 8 at Recovery Solutions, 0143.
0143.
And if you need another way to donate, just reach out to us and let us know. We can whatever works for you guys, and that's Dollars for Angels to continue being able to scholarship people to safe, reputable, sober living. Brian Ritchie said, "Love you guys. Happy Mother's Day.
Love you."
Greater Waltham said, "Hello to all the women on here. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you." Brian Ritchie, what's the Venmo to donate? So it's at Recovery Solutions. And if you need the code, it's 0143. Magic number 8. We can double it, triple it, half it, whatever you can do. Every dollar counts. Joe Papa said, looking forward to hearing my favorite mother, Allison Lee.
Woo!
Aww, love you.
Taiwanese Santos said Allie G with like the shoes, but we're both wearing sneakers, so I can't.
I love her so much.
I wish we had
believe
a
she's
heel. A
She's
heel.
a G.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
Taiwanese.
Day. Love you. I still call her Mara.
Mara.
Mara. Is her name Mara?
That's her middle
That's
name.
it. Yeah.
Oh, does
Well,
she?
her name's Taiwani Mara. Her first name.
We used to
that's
work
good.
together back in the day. Before I was a mom.
Yeah.
And we used to call her Mara. It was just easier.
It's
Yeah.
I
easier.
think. Yeah.
Keep it short.
I know. I don't want to ever butcher her name.
Taiwani's long.
Taiwanese, but I would like it's. I'm just I butcher
Beautiful
everyone's
name.
name. It is a beautiful name. Tommy Cacavaros said Allison. She's one of the best people I know.
I love you, Tommy.
Peter Half Kenny did the
Praying hands.
Praying hands. And said, "Gotta get me on, bro." Carrie Ann.
I love Carrie.
I know. She's like
hands down one of my favorites.
I know. Her and me, they just. I don't know what it is about them.
Her work ethic and her just how she holds herself and how passionate she is about like her recovery and just like everything helping others. It's just so genuine. I love her. I love you, Carrie.
Yeah, she's another one.
Carrie Ann's the best. Shout out to the Bridge Recovery Center.
Yep.
Bridge Recovery
Killing
Center.
it.
Yep.
Olga Anna said just donated. Thank you so much. Joe Papa said 27 hours of labor, girl. You were in labor for 27 hours.
Mm-hmm. I was in labor for 27 hours. That's right.
Hopefully this time around it won't be like that.
I pray, yeah.
I feel so bad for women that
I was only pushing for 30 minutes though.
Dude, I had like the
I
had like the easiest labors and pregnancies ever.
You're so lucky.
I feel
I don't wish that experience on it.
I really did.
What the 27 hours?
That's
my
You've never had that?
No, my babies like were easy. My older one was 8 pounds 6 ounces, and
mine was 8.5.
Really?
Yep.
I was literally in Dorchester at my mom's house because I was pissed at everyone because someone gave up my breadsticks that I had in the fridge, and my water broke while I was on the bed watching Law and Order, and I like flew to Newton Wellesley on the Pike. And what time was it? That was probably like 6 o'clock, and he was born at 4:06 a.m. So that was like it was like easy.
Boom, quick.
And the other one, they had to break my water, and literally like I was like,
they had to break my.
I said I have to.
They almost gave me a C-section. Almost.
Really?
Yep.
What are we? Okay,
we won't get into that. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Just, the things we go through.
Yeah. Where it's a Mother's Day special.
I know,
We're talking about Mother's Day things.
Yeah. So Carrie Ann said, "I love you, Allison. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Jess. Thank you for texting me. It's so sweet. She really is so thoughtful." Okay, so you really hit rock bottom. Really did.
And everyone's rock bottom is different.
It's different. And there's always a struggle.
I was never sleeping on a park bench or like, homeless in that sense, but like it did get to a point where like nobody wanted me living in their house, and like I was just bouncing from a friend's house to like with like my wheelie suitcase. Like I think when I got arrested and like I was actually detained, and when I was like put in treatment.
Yeah.
That before that time, like I was staying at my friend Susan's house. Like I
We're
had
living
my
in the
suitcase.
closet with the pea solo cups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
stuff
pretty.
like that.
That's
It's an upgrade.
yeah, it's an upgrade. We all have our different rock bottoms, and there's always what do you call it? The drill thing to get even deeper. Like there's always you can always go lower.
Yep.
So you just said that you got put into treatment after being detained.
I was detained.
So that's how you is that how you got clean over this?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was detained. The cute innocent girl act only lasted so long.
Yep.
I don't know how I wasn't sent away or before that. If you had seen how many arrests I had, you would be like, that's crazy.
Why weren't you sectioned?
So my boss, I worked in the North End for a little bit, during my using, like actually high school, and then when I was in Arizona, I'd come back for the summer and I'd work there, and then when I moved back, I worked full time. So I had this one job and I had a boss, and he really seen my disease progress because I was stealing from the register. He saw me hanging around like the kids that weren't doing good things, and he actually tried giving my mother a heads up one time, but my mother has no idea how to even section.
Right.
I don't have anyone. I didn't have anyone helping me like get clean.
Right.
Like for me, a lot of it was because I came from the background I came from. It was a secret.
Right.
And by the time like I got high by myself, or I got high with like a boyfriend, or like nobody was really like an advocate for me. So when I see people like helping like other people get into treatment, it like really it's an amazing thing to see, because like I wish I had people like advocating for me.
I get
it. Because a long time ago it was not
that.
like that for me. So
and like you said, there was no one in your family to have gone through this.
No one knew what to do.
I get that.
I
get it.
And I eventually, when I got arrested that time, I had a little thing with my brother. I broke into the house. I was kicked out of my father's house, and I broke into the house in the middle of the night and I stole his car. And I went to go buy, and then I get a phone call or a text from my friend Susan, who I was staying at her house with my little wheelie suitcase.
Is this the closet house, or no, you were sleeping on a couch?
No, this was Susan's house.
I guess irrelevant.
Yeah, my dad. No, the room I had in my father's house was it was the size of a closet.
Gotcha.
Like that's what. So I'm like, all right, I had to rush back, and I threw the key. My plan was to throw the keys to my brother's car, and run away, and like nobody would see me, because like Susan had told me that my brother had called the police on me. So I get there, and that was the whole plan, to just of course it didn't happen that way. Cops fly out of nowhere, and then I ended up they ransacked me, and I ended up getting detained and
sent to treatment.
Yeah, and they were actually trying to get me they were trying to section me from there, but there was no beds at WotC. So they were like, okay, Framingham or South Bay, take your pick. And then there were like two guys in like the cell, like in the courthouse, like next to me, like what I'm talking about. And they were like, South Bay got TVs, and I'm like, all right, I'm there.
Going to South
And
Bay.
I knew someone that was there, and like I was like, okay,
I'll be fine.
I'll be good. And then like that was an experience.
That is
And then it eventually led me to treatment. So
so you got through treatment through going to South Bay.
So I actually got a bed when I was in South Bay. Actually, one of the girls on my unit told me that Project Hope always has beds because nobody wants to go there because it's so hard. So I was like, okay, that'll be perfect. So I can act like I'm going there. And then
I'm gonna play the game.
And so that's what I did. So like when I had my court date, and the bed wasn't available until like a Friday, and it was a Monday. I remember that we thought the bed was going to be available that Monday. It wasn't until a Friday. So when I was in front of the judge, I begged the judge, I begged the lawyer, I begged everyone to advocate for. I said, I want 5 days to go home to my family before I go to treatment. And it's very rare that they'll take you from the street, right? Like a halfway house.
Especially back then.
Yeah. And I don't know how my lawyer was like kind of begging me not to do that. He was like, if the judge lets you do that,
it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, and you're gonna get locked up like for good if you fail a drug test, if you get there and nothing works. And Project Hope does, like, sometimes they'll take you from, like, when it's worked out through, like, a PO or a situation. So they were willing to work with me on going home and coming into the house. So they let me out, and I ended up using.
Yeah, of course.
And
I mean, yeah, I would have been blown away if you said I
Yeah.
Oh no,
days.
I
5
definitely
days.
did.
Yeah.
I was fine.
I remember when
That's
my
a setup.
mother
Yeah.
when my mother dropped me off, we were pulling up to Project Hope, and I actually thought like I could take things in there with me.
I did that in detox.
And then for some reason, I like froze up. Like as we approached, like I had never it was crazy.
was new to you.
I was approaching and I started getting really nervous, and I had pins on me. Like I had the needles on me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
what do I do?
We gotta go around the block because I gotta get
drop
rid of
these
them.
off.
My mom didn't even know like what I was doing. I
Right.
was like, go around the block. Like, and
Yeah.
I just threw them out the window, or I did something with them. And then I was brought in, and when I got there, they forgot to UA me, or they forgot to.
What?
So I got really lucky, right?
That's like a higher.
So I was like, okay, and like they're all aware because, like, believe me, like I ended up being honest about it. So, and this is like the God shot. So then I was like, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
I got away with it. I can be there. I'm not gonna go to jail, whatever. And then someone was like, "Oh, tomorrow Willow's coming." I'm like, "What the hell is Willow?"
Labs. Yeah.
I'm like, "What's Willow?"
Yeah.
And
Who's Willow?
yeah, like, what the fuck is Willow? They're like, "Oh, that's the drug lab that comes 3 times a week." And I'm like, "Oh, great."
Excellent.
So I ended up having to like come clean and like going into my case manager. Yep. And ratting on myself. And I did.
And they were what?
And they gave me shit. They put me on a restriction for it.
Yeah.
And they worked with me. They said you have to be honest with this person, your mother, your PO.
Well, that's pretty. The fact that you were honest,
and that's why. So honesty is what got me through. And then like I ended up. That's why my clean date. So I went in on August 31st, and my clean date is September 1st. So I ended up getting that shot.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing it because I've been clean ever since September 1st, 2012. Because they gave me a chance, and because I was honest.
Right.
And because of everything.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
That's
Project Hope, like Chiquita, that was my case manager. She worked with me. And she was awesome. Marie DeVito, all of them. They really gave me a chance there.
And that this was your first time in treatment in your state, because that's not always the case. You know, someone's first shot, going to a meeting or in treatment, they normally have
multiple
falls
try and fail. Yeah.
Because relapse is a part of what do they say? Relapse
recovery. Yeah.
I thought there was a different lingo for that. My brain's not working.
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, Evan Yanovich.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my baby.
He said, "Little Ev's watching Mom in his PJs. We love you, hot stuff with the fire."
I love you.
That is so sweet.
I love you. Shout out to my son, Evan,
Little
Evan.
Shout out to Little Ev.
And shout out to Big Evan.
And Big Ev.
So I'm gonna give him a quick shout out.
Yeah.
So
shout it out.
Everyone, I think everyone knows Evan. He'll have 3 years clean in July, which is freaking incredible.
Fire. We need the fire.
Because if anyone knows how Evan, my fiance, used to get high, like this kid would literally like die every other day. Like he literally was in and out of treatment, in and out of the hospital. And I'm not gonna like get into too much like and put his stuff, but like if you don't believe in miracles, like I strongly.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know.
Please have another cry. Another
I know.
It's beautiful.
But he like to see everything that he's done and like the father he is and everything, like it's incredible.
It's a beautiful.
So recovery works,
Beautiful things. Joe Papa.
What do you say now?
You want to read it?
Yeah.
Let's share the wealth of the comments.
All right, Joseph Papa. I remember when Allison came in Thursday night NA meeting. I said, "Damn, look at her, fine as wine."
Oh, I said
good
show. That one, sorry.
Tara Shannon, love you, Allison.
Hi, Tara.
I love Tara.
Amy Bush, hey guys, happy Mother's Day, Amy.
Happy Mother's Day.
Greg Moulton, fire emoji, heart emoji, 100 emoji. And then Evan commented again, praying hands and fire. Debbie Moore, Evan, fire. And that's it. We're all caught up.
Fire. We gotta find like.
So can you tell us what was like when people were, giving you like, all right, don't go to Project Cope, it's difficult. Project Cope, right?
Mhm.
Don't go to Project Cope, it's difficult. What made it so difficult? What made that like halfway house or whatever?
So that house, they were right. It's definitely a tough program. It was it, a lot of structure, a lot of rules. Couldn't have your phone the entire time there. You had to use a payphone. Couldn't talk to a male for 90 days.
Oh, I've heard of this program.
Yep.
That they literally like will watch you at meetings. And
Yeah, there's eyes and ears
I don't think I do it.
everywhere.
I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Like everywhere. So yeah, so it was really hard, especially someone like me who had no idea what I was getting myself into. Like I said, where I come from, everything. Like I had no experience with treatment. So I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to go back to jail. But the thing is that somewhere down the line, my life just got so much better, and they really were helping me get my life on track. Like I started gaining real friends, like women, actual, like having women as friends in recovery.
That's your core group of friends now, right?
Yeah, and like there are pretty
But that's
much
tough.
also,
Like I know for my like when you don't trust anyone, especially women.
yes.
So I get it. So
Yeah.
having women in your life that you trust and that you
Yeah.
can turn to, that's not going to go behind your back and
Right.
do things,
Right.
is a big deal.
They helped me like talk to my family slowly again, like people, the ones I didn't talk to. They helped me get like a bank account. I got a get well job in there. Like everything just kind of came together. And then by the time like I had completed their program, I went in front of the judge, and it was like a completely different person. I put on that program weight. I actually color in my skin.
Yeah.
And they were just like, who is this woman? Like not even a little girl. Right.
Yeah.
So they ended up lifting my probation and paying like, or getting rid of all of everything I owed. And it was like a miracle. So by that time I could have easily gone back to the life because let's be serious, when I got there, like I had every reservation to continue what I was doing. I just wanted freedom.
Right.
I didn't want to have this over my head.
You didn't want to be in jail.
So I got what I wanted, and I had that opportunity, but my life was that much better that I ended up doing their 3-quarter house, and I ended up going to sober living on my own. And then I've been clean ever since, like I said.
So how long total were you in some type of structured environment, like treatment? I hate to call sober living treatment.
So I was in that house for 7.5 months. And then after that, I would say that I was in the sober house so I left that house. Even though I had completed that house, they have like this 4th floor where you can wait for the 3-quarter house to be available. So that's what I did. And then, or was it 3rd floor, I mean. And then it wasn't until November of that year. So I completed in March, and then I ended up, or April. Yeah. And then I ended up moving out of that sober house and going into an apartment in November of 2013. And I entered there September August 31st, 2012.
So over a year, 14 months total?
Yep.
So, a lot of people who reach out for help, they're always like, they want to rush the process. What do you say to people who want to just do like 30 days in a program and then go back home?
That's why working in the field and everything that I always think of like my process, and I don't try to, like, everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
But that's why I go extra hard for advocating for that aftercare program.
Yeah.
For that halfway house. For that, you know what I mean, that structured environment, because it works. And no, I don't care if you're like, I'm only here because I'm appeasing the court or for DCF or whatever. That can change. Your motive can change, because it changed for me. You know what I mean? Like I was only there for that, and then look what happened.
I like that your motive can change.
It can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened to me.
Do you remember like the moment when you were in like that halfway house when you're like, shit, I kind of like this lifestyle. I like doing what I have to do. I like this routine. I like being sober. Like, do you remember that moment and what that felt like?
Yeah. So it was probably around my 90-day mark, like where I got that red key tag, and like I had like all my friends that I made in that house were there like a month, 2 months, 3 months before I was, because it's like a 6 to 9 month
Yeah.
program. So they had significantly like more days than me.
Yep.
So like I was just watching what they were doing and doing what they would, and like I had people guiding me throughout the process, so I never felt alone. So it like amped me up almost. Like so like when I would watch my friend graduate, my friend Jen, I remember when she finished Project Hope like 3 months before I did, and she graduated, and then she went to sober living, and then I was like, I can't wait to get there, meet up with her. I see her going out to meetings and having that. It looked like so much fun, like her freedom, and just like she looked so like good and like healthy, and like she continued to do it after the program. So like I was like, I want to do that.
Right, that looks
And
appealing,
then
yeah.
and then it just like it happened for me, and then the next thing you know, I'm her neighbor in the same sober house. And like it just all worked out. So
It was like the attraction of it. Like, wow, I can actually do this.
Yeah,
I don't need to go back to living in the closet.
Yeah.
I can actually have get a get well job, have real connection to people. And I don't like there's an option.
Right.
There's another option besides what I was doing, because what I was doing wasn't working.
Right.
And that's we need that, because say one of those people said screw it or this or that, no one else would follow. But it's attraction, not promotion.
Right.
I don't think we have any comments unless I'm missing them, but feel free to continue commenting. Remember, magic number was
8. Yeah,
8.
please donate.
8 is great. At Recovery Solutions 0143. This money is going to go to continue scholarship people to sober living. Just like Alison went through. And I think it's important. I never got I wish I had gone through sober living. I kind of like seeing everyone else have gone through that kind of stuff. I wish I had, because I think I would have gotten it a lot sooner. So I think it's really important that the continuum.
Oh, without a doubt. And like I think honestly, I can say that I think like my experience is probably a rare thing where like you go to treatment
the first time. Yeah.
But if I didn't have that structure and do the aftercare the way that they set it up for me, I wouldn't be sick.
Yeah. You would have said screw it. And it would have, and who knows what would have happened.
Right. Yeah. That's why like it's so important to listen to like your case managers and your therapists and the people who you're working with in your treatment, like, wherever you are.
And I think to see the people, like you said, around you doing it, I think that sometimes is even more like
more motivating.
More motivating to see other people who went from sticking a needle in their arm to getting some color in their skin, putting some good weight on, that kind of stuff. So you got clean, you did the different continuum of care. How did you then get into working into treatment?
Ooh, good question.
So I didn't start working in treatment until I was like almost 5 years clean. Wait, no, that's no. 4 years clean. 4 years clean. Yes, because it was right around.
It's about 5, right? You've been working in the field about 5.
Yeah, I've been working. Yeah, it'll be 5 years in August. And I was offered that opportunity before I started working in the field. I was just working at a gym. And I was trying to get out of that job. I didn't know like what I wanted to do. Like I remember like so I was an administrative assistant at a restaurant, and then like that was my 9 to 5. And then I worked at a nightclub on the weekends, and I did that in recovery.
Yeah.
Successfully.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Mara.
Jesus, that's crazy.
And
I couldn't even work
good
at
money.
IHOP successfully.
But it can only last so long. And then after that, I got out of that. I went back to waitressing. Wasn't my thing. Then I worked at a gym because I was very into fitness. I go to the gym. That's like how that's therapeutic for me. It's for everything, not just physical. It's mental for me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was doing. And something happened at the gym. I didn't want to work there anymore. And then I was like, shit, what am I going to do?
Right.
And then I remember I literally got a message from Matt Gannum. Love Matt Gannum. Love you.
Shout out to Matt Gannum.
Big shout out to
Matt. And he reached out to me and said, hey, like I heard from a friend that you were interested in working in the fields. Like I have an opportunity. Give me a call. Here's my number. And I did. And he offered me a position as a tech to start there at the women's house. And by that time, he had no women clients, no female clients yet. He was just getting started. And he was like, here's, an opportunity. Like, and, I don't know what you make now. I told him, and he was just like, I'll help you out. I'll raise that and like come on board. And he like literally gave me an opportunity, and because of him, like I'm still in that, and then throughout that, so I was, he gave me a few positions. I was a tech, and then I was the alumni coordinator for that. I was the house manager at one point for his program. And then he eventually promoted me to a case manager when I became pregnant. Because I needed kind of like a 9 to 5
Stability,
did. And
so he saw something in you.
Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah. And like that's
probably something you didn't even see in yourself.
I didn't even think that this would even be a thing for me. Like, and people ask me all the time, they're like, did you go to school? What did you do? And I did like Recovery Coach Academy. I got my certificate, and I did all that. But like, I'm not in school to get my LADAC or my KDAC. And like, he gave me an opportunity to like, just trust me to like be a case manager and to start that. And like, that's how I got into everything.
That's incredible.
I know.
And how do you enjoy working? Like, what are the struggles of being in recovery and working in the field?
That's a good one. There's a ton of struggles.
I would say the biggest struggle is just like sometimes I take home
your job, take your job.
Yes.
So being the empath that I am, I absorb a lot of energy. And well, I'll take a water break.
The water boy's here.
Thanks, Papa.
Why don't you come say hello, Papa?
He's not on. Oh.
Hi guys. Bye.
So, anyways, I forget what we were.
Oh, about being an empath, taking your
the troubles of work.
So I just like absorb that energy, and like sometimes I end up going home with it, and it's not like it's not like in the way where like I'm like talking about it at home. It's like
it's inside.
It's more like subconscious, like it's in me, like, and sometimes I don't even notice. Like it's just weird, and like I look at it then more than just like a job. Like I actually like things will be on my mind constantly too. Like how am I going to help this poor kid?
Right.
How
what am I going to do?
Right. And then there's also like when and another like thing that's really hard for me is like when people don't see what I see in them, or what like I think that their potential is.
Just like
I just want to
you.
shake. Exactly. Like I just want to and be like, you don't understand.
You could be doing
like you could do this.
Yeah.
Like, and that's I think the hardest thing is like it breaks my heart when people don't give themselves a chance.
Right.
And that's probably actually the number one thing that is the most difficult thing to watch, hands down.
I agree. No, it's tough because you just want people. I mean, people don't even see themselves as the world sees them.
Right.
Not only as us as individuals, like how talented they are, how inspiring they are. Like we've had so many clients, like even when we work together, that like you're like, wow, this dude is like super talented.
Yeah.
I've been clean this long, and I can't even measure up to like his skills and his talent set, and like his communication skills, artistic skills, all that. If like he only just had that mustard seed of hope, like we had, and was able to like see that in himself or herself, like
how far
it'd be a game changer for them. It'd change the whole world.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult part. Like that's the stuff you take home with you, and then the loss and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then it's like and then when people leave, and it's just
it's
heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's a hard thing.
And I remember I used to get like that, like when I was at Project Hope, like the doors were constantly back and forth, like
with your peers, right? Yeah.
Because like it was a hard program, so a lot of people that were in there ended up leaving. And I remember I always used to get attached to them, and my case manager used to tell me, Chiquita, she used to be like, why you come in here alone and you leave here alone. You can't be getting so attached to people, like people are gonna do it. And I would just take it with me. I'd get so upset. I'd be like, I made a bond with this person, like I don't understand why they're not doing this, I'm doing it, and it's kind of like the same thing. I get the same kind of way. It's weird.
No, it's not.
Well, what I've learned is like we're not in the results business, right?
Right.
We're just in like the take care of the person in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Like we can't come up with the results. My desired result isn't the person sitting in front of these desired results. Sometimes they have to go back out because that's just the only
Sometimes it's a
option.
part of their process.
a
They
part-
need to do it, but
Exactly.
it's just scary now because also when I was getting high, there was no like fentanyl and
Right.
stuff. There was no like
different
people
game.
Yeah, it
dying
is.
every like it's just scary.
It's a complete. It's fatal. Not that
Yeah.
it wasn't fatal when we were using, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's amped up now.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
progressively
It's
worse.
like
Yeah.
like I don't remember when the last time I've done opiates was 8.5 years ago. I don't have 8.5 years, maybe, but it wasn't like that. It was oxys, like
Yeah.
it wasn't this people dropping like flies.
You usually heard people dying when they
Yeah.
mixed like benzos
Right.
with
Yeah.
heroin.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
it,
that's
that's
how
how
it
it
was.
happened.
It was
Yeah.
the cocktail mixtures
Yeah.
would put them out. It
Right.
wasn't
Exactly.
a sniffing something or sticking a needle in their arm.
No. Or that's the other thing. People thought like, oh, like I used to shoot heroin, but like the people who wouldn't die would be the people who sniffed it,
Yep.
right? But now
Yeah.
you just die just as easily sniffing it because it's so potent.
Yeah,
It's
that was
crazy now.
that was a big
Yeah.
one of my things because I've never wasn't I always thought, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sniffing, I'm fine.
I'm
Like,
fine.
I'm not. And I remember I had a clinician say to me once, "What does it matter how you're injecting it? You're still injecting it, and with the stuff that's out there now, it doesn't matter."
It doesn't matter.
I've heard so many people. It doesn't. And I remember the first person I heard that overdose from sniffing it. My mind was like blown
Yeah.
away.
Oh yeah.
Or you'd be
I
like,
know
oh,
plenty of people
he's
that
fine.
have
He sniffs it.
Yeah,
But it's not like
exactly.
that
Right.
Which is so scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
What? Okay, what are we? Oh, so Anna Sylvia said, "Thank you for all the information."
Oh.
She's killing it. She's
It's
killing
good
it tonight.
Thank
information.
you for listening.
It's really good
So,
information. Everything, the continuum of care model, the just everything.
so let's switch it up. So let's tell us about the good side of it, right? We see a lot of success stories too, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
being a part of that alumni team. How many?
Yep.
You've probably seen multiple people that like get a year, 2 years sober.
Oh,
3 years
I have
sober.
I have clients that I have since we opened
Since we
Banyan.
opened, yeah.
Like I'm not gonna throw anyone, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just like 100%. And
Lisa
like
B
people,
was on the show.
yeah,
She's killing it.
like a lot,
Yeah.
and then start families.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like get
Do
job
normal
offers,
things.
and
Yeah.
Mandy is one of them. I'm gonna say
Mandy,
Mandy because
yeah.
Mandy's the one who asked me to
Yep.
speak here, and she's the one involved with Waltham Overcoming,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
it's just like that's how it goes. So
Yeah.
like I helped her,
Yeah.
like see something in herself that she didn't see,
Yeah.
and then like she's doing her thing, and she's clean today, and she's involved.
She's oh my god.
And then she's asking me to speak on things for her, So
she's like my inspiration for life.
Yeah.
And it's because someone, like we said, Matt took a chance on you. He took a chance at like that's
Yeah.
what this is when we see something as frustrating as it is when they don't see it. What about the percentage that do see it and then get there?
Right.
Because we help them.
Right.
Or like when I hear stories about people getting their children back.
Yep.
That's the best.
Like God willing, like I never had that experience when I, had kid, like obviously, but when I see other women go through it, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Being a mom and like see, like I feel for them, and it's not in a way that I'm like, how could you do? It's like more like I empathize with you, like I sympathize with you, and like I want to do everything in my power to help them. So when I finally see them like come out of that and like get their family back or on their way to get their family back, it's just like the biggest.
It's the best.
It's like it's very rewarding.
Yeah, it's tough,
I had a client one time whose wife was like done with him. Like I had to communicate through me everything. Wouldn't even talk to him, and like now he's on Instagram and like he's posting pictures of his family. Happy Mother's Day. His wife, like she never like went through with the divorce.
Yeah,
like, he got it all back. Like lost his company. Now he's like buying a new vehicle. It's like.
It's
Dude,
awesome.
it's wild. It's like she would not even give him like
the
a
time of day.
2-minute conversation. Like every word she uttered to him had to go through me, and vice versa.
Right.
And now he's got it all back. It's like those type. It's like we deal with a lot of loss and we deal with a lot of like hardship and tragedy, but the silver lining is the people that do, they do
Right.
make it out of this. There's people that do make it out of this,
Yeah.
and they get everything back. They build families.
Right.
Like Olivia, she, I just saw her post. She just had a child.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy.
Because you go from like what you,
That's the good stuff.
it's the horrible thing, and the gift of recovery can make you do a complete
Yeah,
Yeah.
watching that's
transformation.
the good stuff.
complete transformation.
Yeah.
I'm someone who did go through losing
Right.
custody, and I had my son this morning say, "I'm so lucky that you're my mom."
Right.
At 6 years old, and I'm like, you wouldn't be saying this a couple of years ago.
years
Like
ago.
a couple of years ago when I was drunk, benzoed out, like, and it's just those little things that it can happen.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. That's why we
And
do
it
what we
just
do.
completely like it's so rewarding. It takes over anything. So like
Yeah.
let's say there's like 100 clients that come in and there's only 10 of them that make it.
Yeah.
Like that 10 is so powerful,
Right.
and just like means everything. And like that's the reason why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you take the bad with the good, because the good is so rich.
The good is so
Yeah.
rich. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So what do you do? What do you hold on? Let me just check. What are you doing now for your recovery?
So now so I was just telling them, like, I'm 16 weeks pregnant. I have a 2-year-old, right, who's a handful, 2-year-old boy, I'm gonna say. I work full time. I'm actually working overtime right now. And I, even to this day, with multiple years, like it's still hard to find balance and to like do, it's not like before where everything was so exciting and like, I would meet up with my friends and go to meetings 5-6 days a week and like go out, like go on outings after, go to, Joe's on Newberry after the Charlestown meeting, stuff like that. It's not like, it's different. And I still do my women's meeting that I go to faithfully every week. That's my meeting. I love that meeting. Those women in that group like saved my life. Small intimate group of women, but still like that's like what I need. And it's so crazy because a long time ago I used to thrive off of those big meetings and the ones that you need to go to and like
Make
now
sure
it's like now I just need my one dose where it's like I got my women.
Yeah.
And that's like the change. That's what's like so like great and funny, know. But so I do that. I have a sponsor. And I have been stuck on my step 5. I work a program in NA. So I'm stuck on my step 5. I haven't been able to go over it. And that's something that like I'm calling myself out on and I need to do because
it's a hard step.
It's hard. Well, no, it's hard managing like the time and everything going on. I just bought a house. Like there's a lot going on. So my priorities are like work, my child, my pregnancy, my fiance, like, like everything else. But at the same time, I got to bring it back to like what I tell my clients. Like, if you don't come first, nothing else is there, So that's why I make sure no matter how tough of a week I have and no matter how busy I am, that I at least get to my meeting. I still try to maintain the relationship with my higher power. And and it's not just the way that I work a program also isn't just like step work and meetings. It's like actually applying the things that like you do in the program to life. Like I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal, I don't do any of that. Like I live an honest life, like I get up, I take my care of my kid, I bring him to school, I drop him off at daycare, I go to work, I come home, make dinner, have like life with my family and like I do it honestly and like safely and just like that's it. So like it's also about like applying everything. And not just like,
talking the talk.
Right. So could I go to more meetings? Absolutely.
Of course,
I get it.
Absolutely.
Same here.
And
do you ever find yourself like like when you're done with work and doing all that and you could be going to a meeting but like you just want to rush home and see your son?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I just want to rush home and see my son.
I run away. I go the opposite way.
Or like it's weird. Like I want to rush home so I can see his face, and it's like, okay, now I want to go on the couch.
Yeah,
and go over there.
exactly.
Let me
Like I saw you for a minute.
I'm like Evan.
What I used to do is like the Somerville meeting, Somerville. It gets out late. It gets out 9:30. So I used to just like rush out of there. So hopefully, like he wouldn't be sleeping by the time I was home.
That's so sweet.
But I'd miss him like 9
I
out of
know.
10 times.
Yeah.
You know?
I rush home from the meeting. So now it used to be the women's meeting I go to is in Medford, and I
Yeah.
used to live in Medford, so
Yeah.
I was 5 minutes in the street. Now I'm a half hour,
Yeah.
or 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So I rush home. The meeting gets out at like 8:45, but we're all talking and stuff. So I don't get home until like 9. I'm always rushing home. Like, is he awake?
Yeah, right.
And he's
Same.
asleep, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, ah,
I did the same thing.
you know.
Sorry to the newcomer who I should have stuck around to
I know,
talk to
geez.
after the meeting.
God, because he was rushing
Because
home.
I was
For
rushing.
no
You
reason.
know, but no, I like honestly what I actually stay up later when like my fiance and my child are asleep because it's the only
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I get it.
whether I'm on my
TV.
phone or
I get
I'm
it.
watching. I have my shows I watch.
Housewives?
No,
Housewives.
no.
Oh,
I
oh
like.
wait,
I'm on
oh, they want
the
the show
challenge
back.
is my thing. I like shitty reality
What do
TV,
you
but I
like?
don't like Housewives.
Shitty reality
did you
TV.
say?
It's actually
The real world challenge.
the challenge.
Oh, come
I
on.
love that
Come
stuff.
on. No,
come
I
on. Maybe
love
back in
that
the
stuff. I love
2002.
when Jersey Shore
Back in
was
the day,
on.
those were
Back in the day with CT,
yeah. CT was
He's
the
still
man.
on it.
I know which like how
He
are you
just
still on it?
won.
Aren't
He
you like
just won the
55
last
years
challenge,
old?
but he's still doing it. He just won the last one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He
Sorry.
won it, really?
Yeah.
I just started watching
I'm
it.
sorry,
I'm just
I gave
kidding.
it
I
away.
didn't.
But I get that. I feel the same because it's literally I try to
The
rush
only
everything. I'm
time
working,
I
and
get-
then finally everyone's asleep. The dog's not harassing me. Tommy's asleep, and it's like 11:30, and I get my Milanos
Yep.
and I get my milk,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm gonna have to get up in like 7 hours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the
But
only
this is the
time.
only time.
This is the only time. So I get it. And it's a balance, and you got to make sure to take time for you.
Right. And another thing, like I said earlier, like is like fitness always used to be a thing for me.
Oh, you're not me.
And
Cool.
right now, like even before I got pregnant, because it was like the house and the move and everything, like I was slowly getting away from that.
Yeah.
And like that's my mental, like that's what I need.
Yeah.
And I feel it that I'm not going.
I mean, I've heard people that exercise really like it.
It's really cool sometimes. I'm out of it right
I
now.
feel it,
I went
like,
on vacation and it's a
it's-
wrap since.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just,
You gotta get
just
back
need
into
I
it.
gotta get back into it. Boxing season's coming.
So Amanda Dean, is that who you're saying commented? Is that who you were talking about?
It could have been his story too, pretty much, because I remember James. Yeah.
Amanda Dean said, "My husband James Dean going on 3 years. So grateful for everyone who came beside him and me. Love hearing all these inspirational stories. You guys are all amazing. Thank you,
Amanda, shout out, Happy Mother's Day.
Debbie Moore said, "Big shout out to Brian Ritchie who was tuned in from Kentucky. Love you, B. Thanks for watching." And the wolf was on. Ooh.
The wolf, look at him. He's
with the wolf
sneaky. He's a
symbols.
sneaky wolf.
The sneaky wolf. He came in through the cave.
He came in.
Joe Papa said, "My Mandy McGowan rocking it." And Julie, we also want to thank you from the rest of the team. You know, this was you knocked it
out of the park.
Out like literally out of the park. You were unbelievable.
I'm just happy that I was able to do it. I was nervous, but I'm
No,
so
you
glad
were-
I did
you
it
were- this
because
was-
You were great.
honestly, it was like almost like because it's like you guys are doing it for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Like so when you like asked me to do it, I was like really?
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Yeah. We needed someone pregnant so that they could be cry with me.
So they could be what?
They could cry with me.
Oh
on Mother's Day. So again, happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. You know, moms, single dads raising their kid, like everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Magic number 80143 at Recovery Solutions 0143. Thank you all for always tuning in, and please reach out to us with anything. You know, recovery coaching, placement, all that good stuff.
And leave the world a better place than you found it.
Thank you.
Run up here and do this. Oh.